Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world.
Hi, this is Nancy Green for Reach Out. We are here at the Seamans Church Institute in Newport, Rhode Island with the superintendent, Michele Duga. Hi.
Hi, Nancy. Thanks for having us.
So, how does one become a superintendent?
It's really an executive director role. Traditionally, for Seamans Church Institute, as an international organization, they consider their executive director superintendent. So it's pretty much an operations manager of a nonprofit.
We're going to be taking the tour later, but what exactly is Seamans Church Institute?
Seamans Church Institute is a really extraordinary nonprofit organization. They are a safe haven for men and women of the sea and people in the community who have hit difficult times through no fault of their own. So people come here for a variety of reasons. They might be here just to visit and use the Mariners Lounge. They may be seeking services such as they need housing, food, prescriptions. It might be a mariner who needs fuel for their boat. It could be fishing gear. It could be any number of reasons. And we help people both through referrals, advice, listening ear, and also provide financial assistance.
How many people are on staff here?
There are 4 full-timers and 6 part-timers and about 45 volunteers.
And if someone wanted to become a volunteer, what would be the process?
Just pick up the phone and call me. We'll find something for you to do.
What's the phone number?
847-4260. And just ask for Michelle. They'll find me.
And what is your history? Have you always worked for nonprofits?
I have a varied background. I worked for a small nonprofit in Massachusetts I helped start for at-risk youth and always served on boards from the time I was about 20 years old. And when I came to Newport, I did some various volunteering, and this is one of the places that I volunteered. My background was real estate, and I was always dabbling in nonprofits. So I came here to be a vice president of sales and operations for a local company. And when that closed down, I got the opportunity to sit back and decide what I wanted to be when I grew up. My daughter was off in college, so I chose nonprofit management and became the executive director at the Edward King House Senior Center, and was there for about 4 years. And this just sort of opened up at the right time. And my family has a strong history with the sea, and thought I'd give it a try, and it's been a great challenge for me. I've been here just shy of 3 months.
Now, you said that you have sort of a maritime history. Your family was involved. Can you let me know some of the details on that?
Sure. My dad was a merchant marine. He has a really interesting story where he quit school and joined the merchant marines when he was 15. He lied about his age, so he was one of those people that has 2 sets of discharge papers, one for the real age and one for his fake age. And he retired from Merchant Marines when I was 3. And we grew up in that environment where all the friends sort of were based around that maritime history. And his father's family were Gloucestermen up in Massachusetts, and ancestrally were shipbuilders. And then my brother, when he grew up, sort of had his young family, I guess grew up as anything past 20. He became a tugboat captain, and he did that for a while, but lost his life at sea. So we're pretty well connected in many different ways. One of my nephews was a commercial fisherman, and you know, when you lose somebody at sea, you sort of try to drag the people out of that industry. So this is a way that I can give back to seamen and women and keep my feet dry.
Now, for those of us who may not know much about this location, do you know any of the history?
Oh, absolutely. This is actually a really interesting building. It's the only building on the wharf still serving its original use. It was built specifically for the mission, and the people who brought this organization together were very much visionary residents of Newport, and they really locked it up so it can always be what it is. They were originally part of the Seamans Church in New York and broke away from that so that they'd have some flexibility in the mission here so that we can react to the needs of the community, which is a pretty magical way of doing business when you're doing human services, to be able to react immediately. And then they tied up the deed, which was really smart, and they said if it ever ceases to exist, it has to either turn over to another nonprofit or make it a park. So they're not going to sell it for retail space, which is great, because we don't need another restaurant on the wharf here. So
I understand that there's a very extensive library here. If someone wants to have some more information about the history or wants to study it, do you have someone on staff? Are you part of the Historical Society? Do you have recommended readings?
Well, we're part of the National Historic Register, and Deidre DeRozier on staff has been here the longest, and we have some members on the board that have been here years and years and years. So there's a lot of people to share the history. I believe you might get a tour of it as well.
When is the best time for someone to come here if they want to utilize the library or some of the other services here?
We're open 365 days a year. So the doors open at 7, they lock back down at 5, so the staff can go home. We have safe haven meetings that open at different times, so any day, anytime.
Wow. I mean, the location here is absolutely beautiful. You're literally right on the wharf, so there's a lot of restaurants around and shopping around. Do people in the community stay here, or is it only, do you have to have a maritime connection?
No, a lot of people come in from either cruise ships or sailing regattas. Were used a lot for weather stations or maps and training location for skippers. But people from the local community, people from all over the world come in. The cruise ships stop in. A lot of people come here for lunch or a snack or to visit the chapel on the second floor. Students from Iris or the colleges come in and use the library. There's free Wi-Fi access for everybody. There's showers in the basement and laundry for transient boaters. So there's something for everybody. And some people just like to sit and relax. There's a memorial garden, and very, very peaceful, and a sort of an oasis in a time in the summer when it's like hustle bustle down here and all you hear is cars and traffic. But when you enter those gates, it's just a little oasis of quiet.
So how many people visit here each year?
Oh, thousands and thousands of people come through the threshold here. For services, that people that actually seek services, it's well over 40,000 people a year. Wow. Last year, in 2012, we served 5,121 meals to people who needed it through community meals. We have a signature program called Soup to the Docks, where we actually make soup in the winter and hot dogs in the summer and deliver it to the fishermen on the docks here in Newport and also in the Port of Galilee. And we also have holiday meals. We feed people through our cafe. And it's a very magical place. You would never know. You could be sitting at a table with a yacht owner, a homeless person, a student, a lawyer, and everybody sharing a cup of coffee. So you really have a true sense of community here. And our delivery of service is seamless and done with a lot of respect and dignity for the people who are seeking the services. We also have lodging on the third floor where we provide some rooms for mission-related circumstances where somebody might be here transient, they might be having a difficult time for whatever the circumstance is, and we can put them up for a couple nights upstairs. In 2012, we did 508 nights worth of service, and we're able to help people bridge a difficult time and move them to a service that would be better suited for them. We also provide financial assistance for somebody, say, that was having a tough time for a water bill or electric bill, or they're facing heat shut-off, oil, prescription coverage, shoes, they're going for a new interview, might pay for cell phone minutes so people could access them. It could be any number of things, and we talked a little bit earlier about the flexibility in our mission. By having that flexibility, we're able to react in a crisis where another agency might have paperwork or a waiting period for services to kick in. We fill that void here and then refer them to the agencies to solve the problems. So a pretty formidable human services agency.
I've noticed that here you have a chapel. Do you have religious services here? Do you do weddings?
There used to be religious services up until about 2012. There actually was a minister from the Episcopal Church that was the superintendent, and we sort of got away from that. We do weddings, we do memorial services. There have been a load of people baptized in the shell upstairs, which is really beautiful, and it's just a really nice place to sit and reflect. A lot of people coming or going from the water have a chance to really sit and reflect. It's got a compass of values in the floor, which is, it's just a beautiful place to be.
So technically, let's say, for example, if you wanted to have a wedding here, we would be able to have the services here. There's the lobby that we're in now, or the lounge that we're in now, and then there's also the library upstairs, so that you could probably have a small reception, very small service, because it's a small chapel, and you could probably stay here for the night, correct?
Yes, and we could probably cater it from the cafe.
Now, you're a non-profit organization, so do you have like a website that has like a rate structure? Does it change seasonally like the rest of Newport?
Yeah, we're very fortunate in the way we have social ventures that are encapsulated right into our nonprofit organization. So we have the cafe, the Aloha Cafe, and then the Crow's Nest Lodging upstairs, and that has its own website, crowsnest.com, and you can go in and see the different rooms and book depending on the season. That's also a revenue generating opportunity for us to feed the mission. So it's really everything that you do when you either eat here, have a cup of coffee here, or you stay overnight allows us to help somebody else who doesn't have that opportunity. So you're doing good.
Now, one of the things that we had talked about earlier was how you can volunteer. Let's say, for example, I want to donate. If I want to donate monetarily, or do you have fundraisers during the year?
Yes, we do. We have a huge signature event called Rock the Docks, which kind of goes in line with our Soup to Docks program, which is a lobster bake on the edge of Newport Shipyard. And I just was able to go to my first one this year. Hands down, best party in Newport. Very affordable. All the board does all the work, and people just come out of the woodwork to support it. It was really, really fun. We have an annual appeal at the end of the year. We have Friends of Seamans Church Institute, which is a membership organization for people that just want to support us and get the newsletter. You can visit our website at seamansnewport.org, and all that information is there, and ways to give is listed as well.
Michelle, it has been a pleasure. This location is absolutely beautiful. At the break, I took the tour, and we're going to show that as well. I'm in awe. This is a great place that I didn't even know was here.
It's the best kept secret on the wharf, and we've been here for 94 years, so it's pretty amazing work that gets done behind the scenes, and very quiet, and people come from all over the world to see us, and I'm very honored to be sitting in the chair.
I'll honestly say, if I have to plan an overnight in Newport, this is definitely a place I'll consider. It was really great seeing you again.
And they walk in the door, they usually just kind of look around and then just say, "What is this place?" And my response is, this is a 94-year-old organization that was founded to be a safe and sober haven for men back then of the sea. And it has evolved over the years to become a very public and a very unique place that still serves men and women of the sea, as well as people in need in our community, recreational boaters, visitors and tourists, and the general public. One focus is to be stewards of this building that is now about 83 years old and is on the Historic Register of National Buildings. It is to provide that kind of basic needs assistance and support to people connected to the sea and in need in the community. And it is to provide a variety of amenities. So for instance, down on the lower level, we have public restrooms, public showers, 2 washers and dryers, and these services are made available to people who are homeless and indigent, but also people who are in the harbor on their boats during the summer or year-round at this point, so they're openly available. Then on this level,